Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to PetrolHeads. We have another championship race for you here tonight. It's the second round of Lotus Evora, the team's championship. That's going to be touring around the free starter pack tracks. Excuse my aeroplane engine of a PC. We've got 14 minutes left to go in the session. We have 6 times on the clock with 9 people currently joined up. More people to come. Last time we ran this race, we have had a lot more people than this, so let's hope it fills up quite quickly. So of course, practice is practice, not qualifying, so these won't be the grid spots, but they'll give us a relative idea of what we will see in qualifying. It's more or less people practicing, not going off the track. And while practicing putting together their hot laps, doing a little bit of a quali sim. So your top 6 on the leaderboard right now is Lorenzo Adami in the 77. He's teammates with Arthur Graw in 5th. We'll get to him in a bit. We'll get to the teams in a bit. Fotosystaglou and Soteris Moraitis, the pair of Greeks, and on the same team, are 2nd and 3rd, respectively. Andy Darnell's in P4 at the minute, followed by Arthur Graw in 5th place, and Andrea Piazza in 6th. We have a few drivers yet to set a time. We've got Christian Kubovic, a very fast driver as we know him. He's a very adaptable GT driver, Super GT champion. And we've got Adam Rohn in 8th place. Well, I mean, when I say 8th place, I mean he hasn't set a time yet. He's not on the leaderboard. But then there's Samuel Oliveira, who's shown up today. Samuel Oliveira has a very sideways driving style, and I'm not 100% sure whether that suits the Evora too well, but I suppose we'll see in time. So, as I said, Lorenzo Adami is in pole position at the minute, or would have been if this is qualifying. The benchmark of the current pace at the minute is 2 minutes 14.181. Certainly faster than anything I can do at this track myself. I certainly don't like the Evora too much. And I also hate Suzuka as a track. I'm sure once you actually figure out how... I still haven't figured out how to do those S's, man, but I'm sure once you figure it out, it's a good fun. Probably one of the bigger things about Suzuka is the setup on how to take the S's without overheating the tires like 5 minutes into the race. But that's what these drivers have hopefully figured out for today. The next fastest driver from Lorenzo Adami is Fotosystaglou. In 2nd place is around 9/10ths if you round it off the pace from Lorenzo Adami. And I suppose Soteris Moraitis in 3rd is 2/10ths off of Fotosystaglou, so the teammates are very close together this time round. So maybe they'll work together, bump draft each other on the straights in order to maybe catch Lorenzo Adami. He seems to be... every time we have one of these live streams, we always seem to have a dominant driver, and now that we have teammates, we might have people to work together to take down the Dominator. But yeah, apart from that, it's a very split. If we were to start racing now, we'd have 3 separate trains. We'd have Adami in his own little bubble, Fotis and Soteris in first and second in their own little slipstream train, either jockeying for second and third or working together to hunt down Adami. And then in fourth and fifth is Andy Darnell and Arthur Gra. They're around 2 seconds off the pace as it stands, and 2.5 seconds respectively. They'll most likely be jockeying for position themselves. And P6, Piazza, he's going to be, well, just a back marker. He's not going to be able to race anyone at this current time. Not as the leaderboards stand currently, with 8 minutes to go. Samuel Oliveira seems to have gone quickest in the first sector. He's 3 tenths quicker. He's done a 56 dead in the first sector. And look at that, Samuel Oliveira is flying on his first timed lap of the day. He's 3 tenths up. His teammate, I haven't figured out who, but his teammate is barging out of the way in order to not impede him on his flying lap. This is going to be a brand new fastest lap of the session. 209, 210, 211, 12, 13, 4... 213.9. That is absolutely incredible. Samuel Oliveira. He is clearly a master of this Lotus Evora GT4. Whoever his teammate is very lucky to have him on board. And there comes Kubovic as well in P3. I just realised, third in the leaderboards. So and his pace and Adami's pace are around the same, give or take like half a tenth. And then there's Samuel Oliveira. So we've seen Samuel drive. He's an excellent quali pace and his excellent race pace, but sometimes he does mess up on the, how do I put it, the consistency side of things. And by that I mean I have yet to have commentated a race where he does not careen off the circuit or during a race or have had some kind of accident. But heck, there's first time for everything, so let's give it a go. Five minutes left to go, and Samuel Oliveira has just set a flyer of a lap. So 2 minutes 13, this is sub 2:14 lap. And he's gone faster than Lorenzo Adami and Christian Kubovic. It's likely going to be those three dominating for the 3 podium spots tonight. Eight of the 9 drivers present at the minute have set lap times. Top 8 is Samuel Oliveira, Lorenzo Adami in 2nd, Kubovic 3rd, Zisoglu 4th, Moreitas 5th, Andy Darnell 6th, Arthur Gross 7th, and Piazza 8th. That's a small moment from Foto Zisoglu. He's gone all the way into the grass, hit the barrier, gave it a little bit of a love tap. Sure, that's what's practice for, you know. Get it out of your system so you don't embarrass yourself during the race. Sotiris Moreitas seems like he's going to be on a personal best right now. Personal best first sector. He's only 3.5 tenths off the pace. Going into the second sector now. He's going green as well, but he's only like 8 tenths off. At this rate, he's going to go faster than Foto Zisoglu, his Greek teammate. In Team 64, Sotiris Moreitas does not improve on his lap time, on his personal best. He stays in 5th place behind his teammate, Foto Zisoglu. He does have it in him, though, to improve. Well, who else has it in him to improve? It's Andy Darnell. He's gone personal best in the first sector, personal best in the second sector. He just needs to watch not to mess it up. Going into the last sector, very heavy braking point. You have to thread it through very carefully on this track. Andy Darnell makes it look easy. In the numberless Lotus Evora, and that is a fastest lap for him so far. Goes into P5 ahead of Sotiris Moreitas. Lorenzo Adami wants to have another crack at pole position here. Theoretically pole position anyway. Let's have one more quali sim, or at least half a quali sim with the amount of time he's got left. But actually, that's a good point. There's only like around 60 seconds remaining, so this is going to be most of the driver's final chance to get their hot laps in, or like any sort of like non-quali sim practice in. A little bit of info from the Discord. Arthur Graw expresses his displeasure for driving the Evora. In his words, he said, "This car is so unpleasant to drive." And for the most part, I can agree with him that the GT4 is horrendous. That's why I bought the Audi R8. And he says it certainly is. That is what makes it funny. So that's the fun part about one-make championships with cars that are hard to drive. Just because, like, if you don't like the car, chances are everyone else hates the car as much as you do. They have to put up with it, as do you. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Makes for some interesting action, though. A little bit more from Arthur Graw. Well, this is happening in the Discord, by the way. Make sure to join that up to see all this live. Arthur, in his words, says, "I don't enjoy hitting barriers with 150 kilometers an hour in reverse that much, but yeah." Andy says, "I would slow down a bit." I'd agree with Andy on that one. if you're doing 150 kilometers in reverse, then there's certainly a problem there. But that's it then for practice. It's 15 minutes, 14 and a half minutes left on the clock for qualifying. Everyone's on their out laps. Nobody's wasting any time getting their tyres up to temperature for the first hot laps of the evening. And they're good for pole position. So a small bit of advice from me, like if there's, especially in a very advanced circuit such as Suzuka, it's very important. Like if you're not very confident in a corner, then don't push for time there. Even though if you're slower, even though you know there's time to be gained there, take it slower, because it's always faster to take the corners crawling at a snail's pace rather than to spin. Like taking chances, it isn't worth it until you've gotten comfortable with the car. So that's all I'd say to that. Like take your time and take it easy, at least for the first couple of laps until you feel your way around and heat the tires up a little bit at least. So last time the order was Samuel Evora in first, Lorenzo Adami second, and Kibovic third. Those were the top three in practice. So let's see if anyone can emulate those times in qualifying and get that cemented into a grid spot. Start finish straight goes the numberless car of Samuel Oliveira, Andy Darwinell's teammate. Braking for a sweeping right-hander after really trust the car. Oliveira seems to be really at one with the GT4 Evora. He can drive it very masterfully and very conservatively and still go very quick. He's usually has a very big habit of hanging his tail out, like we saw in the Porsche Carrera Classic that we did a while back, but he seems to have overcame this bad habit, and he seems to be putting his driving skills to good use in that Lotus Evora. One right-hander after another in that first sector. Soteris Moraitis, he's the tip of the spear, he's the first one out of the pits, and he's with the one in clear air at the minute. He's going to be the first one to set a lap time. It's got a 56.7. As in his first sector, we've seen 56 dead in the faster drivers in this session, but there's always room for improvement. We've got 11 minutes left in the session. There's going to be time for more hot laps here soon. Soteris for Team 64 goes into the second sector with a 145.8. That's not bad at all. That's solid midfield time. But if he wants to go up into the top three, he's going to have to pick up his game. We have our first train of cars completing their laps. The time table is about to flood with lap times. So there's Moraitis, Adami, Oliveira, Kibovic, and that's a top four at the minute. Samuel Oliveira sets the fastest lap. It's another sub 2:14 to 2 minutes 13.87. Adami is 1.9 tenths off the pace. Kibovic is 7 tenths off. He's much room for improvement from the Slovak. P4 for Andy Darnell is 1.5 seconds off the pace. Soteris Moretus is 1.8 seconds off. There's much room for improvement for the Greek. And Piazza, although at the back of the grid, sets a lap time. So a few people haven't set lap times yet, such as Adam Rohn, Fotozisoglu, and Arthur Grau. Soteris is on a personal best first sector. Although he's 6 tenths off of Oliveira, he's improving his own time for Team 64. And keep in mind, when you see the same livery together, there's going to be like two cars with the same livery. They're teammates. Remember this. Drivers have to work together in order to place higher than the other teams. It's a duos championship. So you can't have. You have to pull your end of the championship. You can't just carry your teammate to victory. You both have to put in some effort. You have to help each other out. And usually I'd be in this Evora championship under the name Choose Autosport with Mikola Volinets as my teammate. Unfortunately, Mikola couldn't make it, and I'm extremely tired from a real-life karting event, so she got seconded, by the way. Absolutely shattered from that karting race, so I ended up figuring out commentary instead for these Evoras. So, going off of what Arthur Gross said, about him not liking the car very much, I can back him. I hate the Evora GT4, even though it came for free, and when I bought the starter pack, I almost immediately bought the R8 GT4 for any future GT4 racing, because I just absolutely hated that Evora. It sounds lovely, but if only it's handled as well as it sounds on the racetrack. And that's Fotozisoglu around in the first sector. People are going to have to watch out for when they're starting their hot lap. Hopefully he holds escape soon. Arthur Grau is beginning his out lap. Finally, he's mustered up the courage to go near the steering wheel of this car ever again. A similar pain I share with him, because I hate this car and this track. So I don't know, I can see the appeal. Once you get the S's right, it's one of the most famous corners in racing. But I just don't get it, so I just can't figure it out. Perhaps I'm a little bit too impatient on the gas, and I keep on oversteering or understeering off, or taking a little bit too much curb, or like the entire lap revolves around that one bit of track. Like you can gain and lose so much time in those S's. Lorenzo Adami has gone purple in Sector 1. He's about to post to Sector 2 of 1 minute 44. That's faster than Oliveira's time at the minute, 1/10 faster. He's going to continue into the last sector. It's on the home stretch. Takes that chicane like a boss. And now onto the start-finish straight. Let's see how much time he's made on Oliveira. 13. It's 2 minutes 13.7. He's 1/10 faster than Oliveira. Samuel's going to have to push a little bit harder if he wants to secure that first position on the first row. Christian Kibovic is no slouch either. He's 2/10 up in the in the first sector. He's about to complete the second sector. Let's see if he's up to any faster times. Because remember, he's 8/10 off. And it's 0.181 seconds off the pace in sector 2, sorry. But this is going to be a massive improvement for Kibovic. He might surpass Oliveira if he keeps it together. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and it's a 1:14. He's built considerable time over Darnell and gotten a little bit closer to Oliveira, but it's not going to be enough to get to the first row. He's going to have to push one more time within these last 4 minutes, 3 and a bit minutes. And would you look at that, he's actually managed it after Gras. He's in P6, he managed to settle lap times. Finally, he's 2 seconds off the pace, but he's given it a go. He's set a qualifying lap. Andy Darnell remains P4 and remains 1.4 seconds off the pace. Lorenzo Adami, as he starts a brand new flying lap, 3 minutes left to go on the clock. And Lorenzo Adami appears to, well, he's invalidated a lap, I think, but is going to try one more time in these closing stages of qualifying. This is going to be everyone's last chance to get their qualifying lap in and cement their spot in the grid in time for the race start. Last chance for Lorenzo Adami to further secure that pole position in the events that Oliveira and Kibovic set faster lap times in these closing events. In the closing 2 minutes of the session. This is going to be Fotis Isoglu's last chance to get any grid spot at all. He hasn't set a valid lap yet. He's the only driver out of the 9 drivers to not set a lap time yet. He needs to set anything, or else even Andrea Piazza will be starting in front of him. There's being 5 seconds off the pace, and then there's not setting a time at all, which means you'll be put at the very back of the grid, which is something you really don't want. And track it tactical as this one, because you're going to run out of tire temperature very quickly if you're pushing that hard. He's a second and 1/10 off of Lorenzo Adami in the first sector, but he's setting a lap time. This is crucial. If he invalidates this, he's going to lose several positions. If he just sets something, then maybe he'll be in the midfield with Soteris. $39, $40, $41, $42, $43. That is not ideal at all for Fotis Isoglu. He hasn't even set a lap time in time. He's invalidated too many laps and he's dawdled for far too long. And now he'll pay the price. He'll be starting at the very back of the grid for tonight. He's going to have to carve his way up his way up all the way back to Soteris from P9, all the way up to P5 in order to start working with him. Well, that's it then. Race will be starting shortly. Stay tuned, people. It's a 2-minute warm-up, so grab some snacks. Maybe share the link while you're at it. Give it a stream a like. And it appears we've lost a driver. Samuel Oliveira's game just crashed. One of the top 3 drivers today. His game just crashed and transitioning into the warm-up. That's very odd. And very unfortunate for Oliveira. That is very poor timing for Samuel Oliveira. At least his game didn't crash when he's about to win, or like fighting for a podium. And that would have been really annoying. Christian Kubovic is on the grid right now, having a little bit of a practice start. He's got the right idea, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a standing start. Unlike our endurance series, where it's a rolling start by a safety car, this is a standing start. So it's best to get a little bit of practice in, starting to launching the car without traction control to get the fastest launch possible, and maybe pick up a couple of positions during the start of the race. 10 seconds to go, and it looks like we're on for a very good race tonight. So if no one else disconnects, it's going to be between Kubovic and Adami. That's your 2 drivers. Top 2 competing for the win and second place. And it's going to be another train consisting of Andy Darnell and co for the last podium place. 2 separate stories to keep our eye on tonight, and it's only going to get more exciting from here. There's going to be lights ahead of everyone, 15 minutes on the clock, and it's DNF for Adam Rohn, but here we go. It's going to start any second now. Adami on the left, Kubovic on the right, and they're away. Adami is in the lead, ahead of Christian Kubovic. He's going to go to the side, on the outside. Maybe a switchback. Here comes Andy Darnell on the inside, 3 wide momentarily into the right-hander. Everyone's very smooth. It's all gone single file. Kubovic is in second place, chasing Adami through the S's. Raul's been given a slowdown penalty slightly for cutting the S's. Maritas is in P4 at the minute, followed by Gra, Piazza and Fotozisoglu. Zisoglu is going to be very desperate to make up a few positions here, so he can catch up with his teammate Soteris Maritas to make up some vital championship points. Adami and Kubovic are very close to each other, hardly half a second separate them. Oh, and there goes round Andy Darnell. Around the end of this first sector, he's off. He's dropped all the way back. He's 6 seconds off the leader now. He's going to have to tiger his way back up the field. But I say there's ample time to do that. There's 13 and a half minutes left in the session. first lap. Very unfortunate for Andy Darnell. But that does mean Sotiris Moraitis is in the podium places now, and Arthur Gras isn't too far away either. Only around a second behind Sotiris Moraitis. Lotus have been making very good ground, and that's Piazza into the barrier and the gravel. He's spun. And that looks like a DNF'd car to me. That looks very, very smashed up. I wouldn't bother driving that Lotus either. That's a very crushing DNF for Andrea Piazza. That's the second DNF in one lap. So here we go for lap 2. It's Andami versus Kubovic, half a second apart. They haven't gone over a second over each other. They've been maintaining that half a second gap since the start. Meanwhile, at in the back of the frame, Sotiris Moraitis and Arthur Gras are fighting for the last podium position. Christian's using all those carbs he can get to try and get some time on Adami. Kubovic has it in him, he just needs to pull out the consistency. But Lorenzo has a very good history in GT3 of being one of the most consistent guys out there. And it seems like he's mastered Suzuka, as does Kubovic. So it's going to be a very hard fought battle. Any little mistake could cost a position. Or 5. Just need to stay cool. Maybe we'll be getting a little bit of slipstreaming action down the straight. They're 4/10 apart. It's going to be ample distance to try and get a little bit of time. Depending on the wing angle, that is set in these cars. Going into the third sector, Kubovic has managed to maybe get a little bit of a... Yeah, it's got a really smooth exit. The gap has now increased by exactly 1/10. Still very good pace from Kubovic, but Adami's going to have to keep this pace all the way through the race if he wants to win it. So meanwhile, further back in third and fourth, it's Sotiris Moraitis and Fotis Zisoglu. Zisoglu has managed to make up the positions in the end. He's 2 seconds off his Greek teammate. And if they get close enough, he might be able to bump draft Sotiris Moraitis or even fight him over the last podium spot. This will be certainly a very interesting battle later on, but we need to focus on the one happening in front of us right now, first and second. Nine minutes to go in lap 3. We're coming over to getting to the penultimate stage of the lap. Both the top 2 cars have gone off. They haven't gone above 1 second since the race started. They've been staying at half a second, precisely at half a second, for the entire race, basically. Further back, it's Andy Darnell in 5th, versus Zisaglu in fourth. Andy wants to make up a position here. He wants points in this championship. And who could this be? Would it be David Jankowski?
Long time no see, but I'm back.
Well, very good. Well, if you haven't heard this voice before, this is my humble friend, David Jankowski. He's a fellow commentator of mine, and he's, after a long absence, he has returned.
Yes.
But that was a very... That was
Unexpected.
Small moment for Andy Darnell there. He was fighting for position and lost a little bit of time on
Yes. And I did see someone spin.
But here, let me fill you in on the current situation here, David. So, Adami and Kibovic haven't they've been 5/10 apart for the entire race since the race started. Kibovic is round.
Oh.
He's in the gravel trap and he needs to get going very quickly, or else Soteris is going to catch him. He's driving in reverse.
Oh. Touch the rear wing, that could be some suspension damage.
64 of Soteris Moraitis is in second place against all odds. Christian needs to make up time very quickly in these last 7 minutes, or else he's going to lose what he thought was a very easy podium position.
Exactly.
Arthur Graw in sixth position is chasing the cars of Fotis Isaglu and Andy Darnell. That's a separate train in the back, fighting for the last midfield points available. Fotis seems to be fending off Andy Darnell pretty well, but we saw Darnell lock up earlier in the race, so that might have flat spotted it a bit and might have given him a little bit of... It's a small move from Andy Darnell. Has gone up the inside of Fotis Isaglu in the 64. Andy Darnell moves up to fourth. Might not be finished yet though. A little bit of slipstreaming action on the backstretch here in Suzuka. And the third, it's coming out to the end of the second sector into the third. Left-hander is going to be nearly flat. Very easy to screw up.
It is pretty easy to screw up here in Suzuka.
Masterfully. Very well done. But Fotis isn't going to give Andy Darnell any leeway here.
Yeah.
They're hardly a second apart. But Andy Darnell seems like he's going to be making time.
And could he gain enough to catch up to Kubovic, if I'm saying that correctly? Oh, DQ!
Christian has been disqualified for speeding in the pit lane. Well, that
was totally unexpected, out of nowhere.
I didn't expect that from Kubovic. I thought he was confident.
Exactly, as well, yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought him to actually be the one to screw up the speeding in the pit lane. That's something I'd do. But it's my thing.
I always have auto pit limiter, so it's easier for me. So then I have to hit a button.
Yeah, it's a crucial button you need to set up in the car setup.
Yeah. Well, I could get a new wheel soon, so possibly I could get on there, and possibly a new PC.
That would be ideal.
Oh hell yeah!
So, back to the race then. For Arthur Gropp, 5th place. He's been bumped up a spot. There's 3 cars out of the race, 2 DNFs.
1 DQ out of nowhere.
And just that disqualification of one of the front runners. So this should be an easy win. Yeah, absolutely. Lorenzo Dombi should have a very easy win, fall into his lap. After
but there is only 10.6 seconds, so this could be a chance so you can catch up if he finds the correct line.
Absolutely not. Like if you've seen the qualifying pace, it's very, very unlikely unless Adami's gotten damaged. But it's nice to keep dreaming, though.
It's like that one song by Aerosmith, Dream On.
Yeah, I see.
Which we will not play due to copyright.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because if we had to if he wanted to use it, we'd need to get the full license, which Andy would have to pay for, which would be a lot of money.
Yeah, it'll come out of his pocket and we won't be very happy with
We've got
this.
Christian's in the VC.
Welcome, Christian Kibovic.
That was sorry on seeing that disqualification.
I think it's some several problems because Ron is out and Oliveira too, and some game crash. I think server is wrong.
Yeah, that's very, very odd.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate for you, Christian.
I know. It was really bad. From P3 to getting DQ'd, it's horrible.
Yeah, you genuinely had the pace to win today, Kibovic.
You did, fully. Oh, the fix. Oh, crash.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Did you catch what?
No, I think Pete Moritz had a crash. The gap went up. It was 14, now it's 19 seconds.
Well, it's not enough to relinquish P2 to Andy Darnell. It was 24 seconds behind the leader at the minute.
Oh,
5 seconds
it's
behind
constantly
Marcus.
increasing though. There's a chance that Andy could catch up. He's got 5 points. We've got 5 seconds to catch up. Dead on 5.
He's got 2 minutes to get this gap gone. This is going to be the final lap of Suzuka.
In the PHSL Lotus Evora GT4 Championship.
So despite hating the car, despite him expressing his hate for the car, Arthur Gras in P5 at the minute and out of P8. He's doing, despite being a back marker, is doing pretty well. Excuse my aeroplane engine of a PC. But he's doing very well considering the fact that he hates this car and track.
Yeah. Just for me, Suzuka's not my strongest track as well. And this is my strongest car either, because I would, if it was a different championship, I would have went for Donington Park F4.
I haven't had a chance to drive Donington that much. I have it in Project Cars 2, but I haven't
I got
driven
it on
that very
Race
much.
Room. It's really good on Race Room, especially with the Formula 4. It's a beauty.
I'll have to give it a try sometime.
Yeah. Back to the race.
Tell you what, I think Andy Darnell is making a dream race championship, so you'll be able to submit that idea,
Oh yeah.
and he might do it.
Yeah. Let's see.
We're already agreeing on an Indy 500.
Oh, time to get out to buy the Indy car again after this incident with my Steam account.
Yeah. That's something to look into.
There's 10 seconds to go. No matter what, Sada's won it.
Okay. So, back to the race then. There's no time left on the clock. It's 00. Lorenzo Adami in lap 7 is on the lead, 21 seconds ahead of Soteris Moraitis, who is, he's got 2 seconds ahead of Andy Darnell. He can't make another mistake.
Or else it'll be P2 for Andy.
Yeah, he'll lose a position. Any little mistake. He needs to keep it cool.
Yeah. Just like the Blink-182 song, All the Small Things.
Absolutely. Soteris Moraitis has done very, very well this
He
race.
has. Apart from a few spins, which when I saw, which wasn't captured on camera, but I saw the gap going. Wasn't enough that I saw there was a spin.
Yeah, that is true, but he has managed to capitalise on other people's misfortunes and convert that into very good success and great points for his team.
That's right.
So we're coming into the final corners.
Could this be a possibility for Andy to overtake him? No, it's not.
He's getting closer, but he's
getting
out
close.
of lap.
Can he gain enough to catch up? As we go around the last turn. Down the back straight for one last time.
And that is it.
Moraitis takes P2. 1.4 separated the two.
Lorenzo Adami wins the first race of the Evora GT4 Sprint. So that's it then. Moretus is in second place, capitalising on everyone else's mistakes. Andy Darnell has made a very late push after spinning at the start. He's made a very good last to third impression. Photosysaglu also spun towards the start, but he's made a very good recovery, capitalising on everyone else's DNFs. And Gra, Adami's teammate, has managed to convert very big hate for the for the Evora into solid midfield points. Very well done from the German.
Well done to all drivers that took part today.
But there might be a second race. Just bear with me for a minute, David.
Oh, 2 races. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, I can see. 25 minutes. 25 minutes long. Oh, yeah. Oh. Being a hay fever, are ya?
Sorry.
Sounds like you're getting a bit of hay fever.
Yeah, it's. I believe it's very common during the summer. I was out and about all day. I was.
Oh, there you.
Actually, believe it or not, I was out karting today.
I'll be out karting soon in June.
Oh, nice. I was after having the championship, like for the club championship, mind you. This was the season opener, and I managed to score second place in my class. So that was very big points for me, and hopefully we'll be able to get a solid championship result.
Formula One, watch out! Possible new rookie on the way in a few years' time.
I'll have to. Maybe look into a move into Britain if I want to pursue Formula 4. Maybe Rallycross would be a little bit more.
Well, he could become that one Turkish driver. What's his name? The Turkish driver that was F1 esports champion that won a race. That came to F2. What's his name? I have to search this up on Google.
In terms of career options for me, I think the best way to go is just to save money.
There we go, I found his name, Chen Bulikbashi. Formula 2 driver.
Huh.
Or former Formula 2 driver. Then he got the sack.
Well, it's a shame for him, but
he is a former Formula 1 esports champion.
Yeah, well, video games alone doesn't immediately translate into on-track success. You need to be conditioned.
Exactly.
You need to understand how the real life car works. Every time you turn the wheel, you need to understand what goes on.
Yeah.
You need to understand the mechanics of the car. It's not like a video game at all in real life.
Exactly, yeah. But you get a rough feeling of it.
It's about practice, mostly. If you lack experience for real, no matter how much time you've had in the sim, no matter how much time, no matter how much realistic it was, no matter if you've been doing it on a Fanatec on R Factor, it will not substitute actual on-track experience, which this Formula 2 driver has proven.
Well, former Formula 2, because he unfortunately resigned.
Which added to the point. The reason he's resigned is the reason
he kept crashing.
Yeah, it's not he's used to iRacing where he's got the reset button. So
yeah,
you obviously don't have that in real life.
Here you go, 5 red lights.
We've only got 4 drivers left.
Hang on, I see 5 cars.
There's a few more
6?
cars.
Yeah, 6.
6 cars, but only 4 of them have shown up.
Yeah, Alpha Gra takes the lead. That's a turn 1. Let's go.
Arthur Gra's gone.
Turn 1, Alpha Gra takes the lead. Followed by Kubovic, followed by Suzuka, and then Darnell.
Suzuka and Darnell tucking behind each other. they're going to follow each other's lines through the S's to try to get any slipstream they can.
Worst thing is
Lorenzo Adami at the back is taking a little bit of a
I think I saw a bit of a penalty come up on screen.
Yeah, people are
Flash.
cutting the S's at the start, you see. They're going to have a slowdown penalty in a second.
Apparently, it looks like, from what I saw, Arthur Grad drive-through penalty, full start.
Now that would have explained it, why he got away from everyone so quickly.
Yeah.
It's going to be some kind of penalty for that. But anyway, let's hope he doesn't impede Christian Kubovic too much. The man in P2. Lorenzo Adami is struggling at the back to get past Andy Darnell in the numberless green Evora. The 64, Alessandro Moraitis is defending from Andy Darnell. This time Andy has a fresh car and he's got plenty left to
There's
defend.
barely a gap between these two drivers.
Let's look at it for a second.
This could be good here. This could be good.
Goes wide, Gra.
And
on the
Kubovic
inside, Christian
takes the
Kubovic.
lead. I thought there was going to be a tap there, but luckily there wasn't.
And simultaneously, Andy Darnell goes into third ahead of Fotis Disoglu. And that appears to be it for the first lap drama. Arthur Gras tucking in behind Christian Kubovic, trying to get a little bit of slipstream. He wants to preserve his podium spot for as much as possible.
He does.
But Andy Darnell's going to make quick work of him in a second. They're hardly bumper to bumper going onto the straight. They're going to be side by side going onto the start-finish straight. This is going to take a little bit of a second, depending on where Kubovic goes. Kubovic is going to the centre. Darnell's getting a slip.
They're side by side. Darnell takes the lead into turn 1 on lap 2. I thought he set him onto the gravel track.
Gras using any grip he can get. They touch.
Oh my god, they touch. I thought Andy would send Gras out onto the gravel track, but he didn't.
Yeah, that's a very dodgy move from the 77.
It is. It was very risky as well.
It nearly worked, but he lost too much time over it, and now he's going to have to. He's at the very back of the grid with his teammate Lorenzo Adami, who's been stuck behind Fotis Disoglu at the very back. He was last race's winner.
He was.
But he can't find his way past the traffic.
And we can't find his name on the graphic. Hey, good rhyme, traffic and graphic.
Yeah, good rhyme. I
have to put that down on that little bit of quotes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, where's my... I'm actually going to get a notepad out and write that down.
I do write a little bit of poetry myself, so I'll keep that in mind.
I'll do it now.
So race 2, we've got in the feature race we've got 21 minutes left to go. Kubovic is in the lead at the midway through lap 2. Andy Darnell has carved his way up the field, and he's in P2 at the minute. Arthur Gras is in third position, followed by Fotis Disoglu. From my data is a little bit glitchy at the second, so I can't really see who else. Behind him is going to be behind him is Lorenzo Adami. Bashing bumper a little bit, but not enough to spin. Very close racing between him, Fotis Disoglu, and Lorenzo Adami. They want to be past each other very badly.
There we go, just made a notepad with the quotes. Now as we start. There we go, now Adami's name pops up. Was it Gras that just disappeared?
Adami and Fotis Disoglu are having a little bit of a dog fight here at the back of the grid.
Yeah.
Maybe having a look at the inside of the S's. Bit of a dodgy move. He backs out before he causes an accident. Very good thinking.
Yeah, smart. Big boy move.
Michael Schumacher put it best. First you have to finish. That's what you have to worry about. You need to preserve yourself.
Yes. But could any other drivers trying to opt, if I'm right, Kimi Raikkonen through 130R, going flat out, if I'm right, or was it Alonso in 2005 or 2004 or 5?
Yeah, the cars back then had very,
Lights, yeah.
grip.
Apart from the Renault back in the early days, which they had that different front wing.
I need to rewatch all the old races. It's a gold mine of compared to the racing we've got today. It's a lot better in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
So just might go digging through the archives later if I'm feeling a bit bored.
Well, apparently Formula One have uploaded some new classic races.
Yeah, I've heard about it. They've got a streaming service now, I believe.
Yes, F1 TV, I believe.
Yeah, they streamed all the. They've got races dating back all the way to the 80s.
Yes, they've got someone here on YouTube as well.
So the first turbo, from the first turbo era, V6 turbo era, we've got races from
very recent.
I'll have to give that a watch, but if you're not particularly well versed in Formula One history, then it can literally be like a brand new season of Formula One.
Yeah.
If you don't know what happens, then it's literally like opening a brand new book.
To a new season.
Chapter, yeah.
Yeah. Like last year with the new aerodynamic changes.
Yeah.
Apart from the weather in Monaco today.
Ooh, a small moment from Photosysoglu. He's gone a little bit of oversteer. He caught it, but it was very close to going very wrong for the Greek driver.
Could be suspension damage, possibly. I don't know if he's got damage.
I don't think so. He's been banging and bashing with Lorenzo Adami all race, but he hasn't been.
So it could possibly be suspension damage.
I wouldn't think so. It wouldn't be. These GT4 cars are hard to damage. They can take a beating.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, fair point. Fair enough.
So it's very easy to hang the tail end of these cars. Although it's not the fastest way, it has traction control and it will allow you to do that, but it's not particularly the fastest way around the track. Kubica is giving it a very good go here with Andy Darnell. Darnell is less than a second away from Kubica. He's waiting for any mistake that Kubica makes. So he can overtake the Slovak for the lead of the feature race for the GT4 Evora.
So we don't want any risky cruise here happening that will cause a big pile-up. Let's just hope that Kubica doesn't get another DQ for speeding in the pit lane again. We don't want that happening either.
Oh, believe me, he's learned from his mistakes now.
We hope. We hope he's learned from his mistakes.
So that's us for lap 4. It's going to be starting lap 5 now. Kubica is still in the lead. Andy Darnell's less than a second behind, 8/10 to be precise.
Yeah.
And Lorenzo Adami is 5 seconds off of Darnell.
Or 5.5.
Yeah, around that. And Photosysoglu is 3 seconds off Adami. Going into the right-hander at the start of the lap.
That's what she said.
Yeah, nice joke. That was far too easy. I need to watch what I say. You can say that's what she said to half the stuff I say in this channel. But you know yourself.
Yeah.
Well, Adami and Photos have been fighting for the last podium spot. They need each of one or the other need the championship points if they want to be in contention for get their team in contention for the championship prize of 1,000 p. That's a tenner's worth.
Yeah.
In-game currency. So any points will be good points here.
Yeah, it can affect how this championship goes. It can go anywhere.
Indeed it can. So back to Andy and Kibovic, they've hardly moved since the last time I've spoken about them. They've been bouncing like 9, 8, 7 tenths away from each other. They haven't moved an inch in terms of distance and lap time.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Christian Kibovic is starting to break up Randy Darnell a little bit by bit. Don't say it again, David, please, for the sake of my sanity.
I'll try not to.
Sure. I used to be just like you with the that's what she said jokes. But,
We could make that a thing, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
If Andy allows it, of course.
So there goes into the right-hander for lap 6. Kubovic is still in the lead, followed by Darnell second behind. Adrami is 5.5 seconds back off the leader. And Fotozisiglu is starting to fall further back. It's almost 4 seconds, or like 5.5.
Yeah. Which we need. Which no matter what, Andy could finish second here if he does a good job. And he doesn't mess up at all. Because he's catching up progressively.
Andy's losing, like for every sector he goes through, Kibovic seems to build up 1/10 on him, and this is turning into a pretty consistent thing.
This is. But the gap's closing.
It's gonna stay around the second, unless Kibovic makes a mistake around the.
It's just opened up again.
Kibovic has gotten a little bit of.
There's been a second now between the two.
Bad exit, and now it's 7 from 1.2 seconds to 8 tenths, going into the second towards the end of the first to the second sector. Going around the
there's something on the YouTube stream which says Lotus is allowed slow down penalty track limit abuse.
I suppose that's right. Fotis is struggling to catch up. He's going to be trying to get that lead, that 6-second lead back by any means necessary. That was his podium, he thinks, and now he's lost it. Adami's had a free podium position handed to him on a silver platter, and if these guys trip over each other in first and second, it might be a free second place as well, depending on how they trip over each other, fighting for position, because it's happened before with me and with other drivers I've commentated with. And I didn't think it happened with 11.5 minutes to go for lap 7.
This race can go either way. Andy could take the lead, Christian could keep it. There's 7 tenths separating the two. So this could go any direction at all.
So, the action has cooled down a little bit. I'd love to give a quick reminder to give a like and subscribe to this channel and the stream. It helps us out really much, and this is something I really enjoy doing.
Same here.
This is a passion of ours, and we'd love to popularise it just to other people. Because this is sim racing, the cars are fake, but the racing here is very, very real, and it can get very entertaining.
It can. Just like what we're witnessing at the moment with Andy and Kubovic. Oh, the gaps. Oh, this is pretty close. Half a second, I believe, separating the two.
You know what? This is a big trend I've noticed with Kubovic.
Yeah.
It's like that one corner. He seems to be taking that corner a little bit too wide. Traction control is kicking in, and he's losing time to Darnell on that corner. But he seems to make it back.
The gap's closing. The gap's gone wide. It's now up to a second.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. it seems to always make it back, and the very next corner on the left.
Yeah.
So Darnell's either like wearing out his tires or he's running out of temperatures to fight.
He just needs to find the perfect spots to find the best sweet part of the track to get closer to. Like Pierce's would be perfect if I stayed on the inside. And on the outside, on the exit.
He's raced on this track before, so it's not like this is new to him. It's just it's a very tricky car to handle over the S's, and even though there's hard tires, it's a hard compound.
And GT4s are pretty tricky to drive.
Yeah, GT4 is a tricky class, and alongside with the hard compound, the tires still overheat at one point.
They do. No matter what, all can change.
All it takes is one bad corner,
and you're screwed. Yeah, then you're screwed.
And Mr. David de Groot has joined and left the Discord. It's a friend of mine, you see. So, anyway, back to the race. We've got 18 minutes left to go with the feature race. Kubovic is still in the lead. The gap is still a second. It hasn't really moved that much. And he's looking for a race win here. Adami is still 5 seconds back on the race leader. He's tigering away that gap, though. It used to be a little bit bigger, Lorenzo Adami's gap, but as those two cars in front... That's a spin from Fotis Isoglu. That's given a little bit of time for his teammate Soteris Moraitis to catch up with him. But anyway, as I was saying, Lorenzo Adami is getting closer to Andy Darnell and Christian Kubovic. Every time they go side by side, they lose time to Adami, and with it,
it's perfectly timed.
The timing of that was impeccable. That was Discord soundboard, by the way. I didn't even catch who that was, but
it was a sad trombone.
Well, that was a very good timing.
Yeah.
But anyway, the gap is increasing by lap 9 from Kubovic to Darnell. Kubovic has got to have messed up. He's half a second now out of nowhere between the S's. Kubovic has managed to... I think we get the idea, David. Half a second to separate them. Going through the S's, Kubovic has made a grave mistake. That gap he has forged within the fast 20 minutes of this race has now been demolished. He's going to have to build it up again very fast.
Yes.
Darnell is going to slipstream him very quickly. 4/10 into the right-hander, going across the curbs, clipping a little bit of gravel, but it's not going to hinder him very much. Going to the end of the first sector. They both seem to take that corner just fine. Kubovic seems to have fixed his mistakes this time. Five and a half minutes to go in lap 9. Halfway through lap 9. Adami's getting half a second closer every lap.
He is. But can he manage to catch up to the front within these last 5 minutes? We'll find out.
Yeah, it's a very big mystery, because these two can if they get together and collide with each other, Adami can just sweep in and collect the spoils.
Yeah.
So something big to watch out for.
That's
Happened to me during the BRC race that I was attending in a German community once, but we don't talk about that.
Oh. It's like you got involved in an incident which you don't want to talk about, huh?
Sure, like action's calming down, so I may as well spew out a little bit of a story.
Oh.
So,
Time for the Fresh Prince of Ireland.
You're right. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, I wasn't the aggressor, but it was a little bit of a violent maneuver from another driver. There was I can't recall his name. It's not that I would name names anyway, but
yeah, that would be invading privacy reasons.
Yeah, I don't hold grudges anyway. But there was a driver. It was a multi-class event.
Oh, okay.
I was competing in GT3. I was on the podium positions in race 2 after getting a very good start. And there was this. Actually, I was in first actually at the time, and there was a second GT3 driver competing for the lead with me, and the scenario just described happened exactly as I just described it. He tries to overtake. This was a Spa de Francorchamps. He tried to overtake me in a very dodgy spot in the bus stop.
Oh.
You know, the chicane before the start-finish straight.
Oh yeah.
That's 2 wide into there to death. He did that, and he put both our cars stationary, right? And then the R8 behind us just came blasting past, and I couldn't catch him again.
Oh.
So he lost us both positions and both of us the possible race win. So it's a very big L.
But it's back to the race, but it's definitely there's a possibility Andy might, because the gap has increased to 2.8.
Yeah, Andy is running temperature, lads. Is increasing by a second every sector now. 2 minutes left to go. Lap 11. Kipovic is still in the lead. Darnell in second. Adami is in third. He's not getting so close anymore. He's still 6 seconds away. And Sotiris Maritas is overtook Focus-Isoglu.
Yeah.
For P4. Not that it'll change much for the championship anyway, because it's going to be the same amount of points for the Greek team.
The team for the Greeks.
I've got SR leagues up here somewhere. Hang on, let me check the actual team names. So to give you a little bit of context, Sotiris Maritas and Focus-Isoglu are both in a team called GRC. That's
Racing community.
Yep, you're exactly right. It's a PetrolHead SimRacing subdivision. They're both Greek drivers. And then they haven't turned up today, but Brother Ups have a division between Timo Reiter and Ethan Mottram. PetrolHead SimRacing, being the team organizers, have to have some kind of team to represent themselves.
Yeah.
You know? So that's made up of Andy Darnell, Samuel Oliveira, 2 very dominant drivers driving the number 0. Then you've got earlier today we had Arthur Graw and Lorenzo Adami.
In ISSY. Going to the car team.
Yeah, they're the IY squad, Inspired Yorkshire. They're a very prominent team. They're very they like to compete in these PetrolHead events, and we like to compete in the IY events. So very mutual.
Bit of an alliance then, if you want to say.
Yeah, we collaborate with them a lot. We're very good friends. And then Tugas Racing, they don't appear very often, but Antonio Costa and Ricardo Costa have a team driving the 11.
Yeah.
And then Christian Kipovic is in the team as well. It was him and Adam Rohn, if you believe from earlier, driving the 13.
Oh, the unlucky number.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a Slovak Republic, PHSR. So it's a Slovak subdivision of PetrolHead.
Well, let's wait until we see the Welsh subdivision.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I even had my own team called Chute Ultra Racing, and it was me, Michael Chute, with Mikola Volinets. And I would have driven today, but unfortunately, number one, I was extremely tired after the karting.
I can imagine.
The karting misadventure.
All the G-forces going past.
Yeah, I need to start going to the gym, man.
Yeah.
Fat little boy. Well, not really, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
You need to start lifting weights or something. And like, second of all, like Mikola, unfortunately couldn't make it to this round. He was a little bit busy, so I decided to commentate instead. Save myself the trouble of, spinning myself on stream, having practiced this in all truthfulness.
Time's up as well, last lap.
Oh yes, you're right. This is our last lap.
We just didn't give a hell about the race and decided to carry on with our normal lives.
Well, I mean, we may as well. The racing has cooled down a lot. This seems like it's going to be our finishing positions for now.
Pushing Superbix wins, Darnell second, Dami third, Lotus fourth.
Come on, I can do better than that. Because Christian Kibovic just won in first position in tonight's round of GT4. Darnell has put up a very valiant effort, respectable effort in P2, but he just lost pace towards the end.
He did lose pace towards the end.
He just couldn't keep it together.
Yeah.
Lorenzo Adami in P3, he has had the pace, but he couldn't keep it consistent enough to catch them.
Exactly.
And Sosharis Moraitis comes in at a respectable fourth, good points for GRC. And Fotis will eventually finish behind him in fifth. So I suppose that'll be it. Arthur Groves in sixth behind Fotis Isoglu. Piazza and Ron didn't finish this time. They probably crashed. Their game probably crashed. We had a little bit of information from the Discord about it.
Yeah.
So Kibovic wins the feature race with Andy Darnell in second place. Very good points for his team, making up for the absence of Samuel Oliveira. Adami comes home in a respectable third after starting from the back of the grid. And that's it for today. Thank you very much for everyone for watching. This isn't going to be the very last. This isn't going to be the last. How do I put it? This won't be the last you see at the Evora Championship, and there's going to be a very, very big title race happening very soon in the very next round. And let me check for you now. I believe the next round is going to be... I have SR Leagues up. The next round is going to be at Zandvoort. So that's going to be the site of the Dutch Grand Prix, Max Verstappen home track. But let's see who else will excel at the Circuit Zandvoort.
Yes.
This is going to be happening sometime next month, 11th of June.
Oh, the same day as Soccer Race, that charity football match.
Oh yeah, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that. But then, including the next race at Zandvoort, there's going to be two other rounds happening at Portimao and Laguna Seca, where there's going to be the championship decider.
Oh, this could be tricky here. Could go. Well, is that one?
Laguna's going to be one of my favorite tracks to race at.
Yeah. And there'll be one of my favorites to commentate at or race at if I manage to get a new PC, if I have enough money.
Yeah, I get you. there's always a struggle.
Especially with the Bills.
Yep. But this is all Laguna Seca. Like, if nothing else, be there for the 16th of July for the final round, because Laguna Seca always produces some great racing with a signature corkscrew. So this isn't the only series you'll be expecting out of us. We're going to have another series very soon, and maybe our very own bootleg Indy 500. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for tuning in.
And you could hear me with an American accent during that one Indy 500.
It turns out we're going to have a bootleg Indy 500 very soon. So
yeah, you're going to have your own break Indy 500.
500 laps of American greatness.
Well, actually, you mean 500 miles.
Okay, I'm finished
500
now.
laps.
All right.
I believe there's 250 laps of Indy 500.
I suppose it's time to stop the stream. So,
yes.
All right, so thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.